What's going on, everybody? Week 7, 2025. We are here. Welcome. It's just another quick talk this week. Back from Arizona, back from Black Canyon 50K, catching up with all the coached athletes here. Had to step away for a little bit. It's fun balancing everything as a coach and an athlete amongst all the other roles that I have. But as far as the endurance journey here, balancing those two roles is kind of nice. It was good to step away and kind of do me for a couple days. Learned a lot as an athlete and a coach, and just made a few quick notes for this week. I wanted to jump on here, testing a few new things as far as recording platforms and things like that go. Always trying new things, always trying to branch out, learn. That's just kind of the I guess the motto of 2025 for myself is get outside the box and just try different things. So there's been a few different things, thoughts, and that I put in here on my notes. I keep a notes tab in my phone every week and just kind of throw things down as I hear things, or if I'm on a call with somebody, or on like a lesson that I'm doing through one of the other platforms, because always trying to learn and things like that. Biggest thing this weekend, one of the things is Saturday was the 100K, and we were able to make it up. If you saw the video, to watch the elite athletes get out there and get started. And it was really cool to see that race kick off. See a lot of elite ultra runners out there really at the front gunning for times that were incredible. Like, looking up what they did that day on that course is unbelievable, almost like superhuman. And the point of that matter is that's okay. Like I've said the last couple weeks, be inspired by that, be moved by that, but don't make that, don't let that affect you in thinking that you're any different. I forget what the times were for the top athletes out there, but the buddy that we went with out there, he hit his goal. I think it was just under 17 hours for 100K, and that's quite a few hours more than the top elite athletes were doing out there. But just know that's fine. That's his journey. That's his goal. He still did phenomenal, in comparison for the day. And it's just one of those, don't compare yourself to other people. You don't know what their story is. You don't know what their availability is for training. Like, I hope people don't really compare themselves to myself, because you don't really know what my journey is like, as much as I have my journey exposed a little bit on social and stuff like that, because I want to inspire people. Is, looking at other people, don't compare yourself to them, because you don't understand, like, how much time they have to train, how their training goes, how their recovery goes, how they manage and balance stress. Do they have a family? Do they have other obligations? What their work life is, what their home life is, all these other things. But what there is one thing that you can control is the 24 hours in a day that you do have, and what you actually do with that 24 hours. For myself and where I'm at, my 24 hours looks completely different than some people that I know. And that's fine. That's just them. That's me. I try and make things as efficient as possible for my time, to manage all the different hats I wear through family, work, endurance, athlete, coach, and all these other things. So again, be inspired by people, but don't compare, especially training stats and things like that, and wondering what they're doing. Maybe they're, you're looking on Strava and see how hard they're training, but if they have the excuse me, the ability to really have great recovery protocols afterwards, as opposed to somebody who has seven other responsibilities for the day, that they're going to be able to handle that stress of those workouts a lot differently. So again, just remember to be inspired by people. I was super inspired this past weekend. It really made me just see what the human body's capable of with some of these people out there, and it's quite impressive. Just remember, anything above zero compounds doesn't need to be optimal, doesn't need to be the best, doesn't need to be 100%. Just remember that 2 mile run's better than no miles for the day. If you have a hard workout coming up, like an interval or something like that, you're just not feeling it, or you're down a little bit, self-regulate. Change that to something that might be a little bit easier, or push your workout to a little bit later in the weekend and do an easy workout that day. It's just one of those things where you just want to keep moving forward, and you're not going to make strides in your investment for endurance without putting in just a little bit in the bank every day. And the more you put in that bank, the more that interest is going to compound, and you're going to have great success with that. And with that, make it so that you can succeed. Get the blocks out of the way. Figure out why maybe you are missing some of these workouts. If you try waking up in the morning and you're just one of those people that can't get it done all the time, Plan ahead. For myself, when I have stuff going on in the morning, I mean, for most days that for stuff like that, like it's a before work run or something like that, I'm planning and prepping the night before. Even when I walk in the door from work the day before, I'm putting everything away that I had to bring for before work to get my training done, putting the laundry away, and then getting tomorrow set up, getting my shake ready for the morning, getting my clothes ready for the morning, what I'm wearing, if I'm going out for a run, getting everything done, and just laying it all out and getting A, B, and C done so that it takes it out in the morning. Because if you roll over and you're like, oh man, I got to get ready, I got all stuff, what do I have to wear? You're just going to start coming up with these roadblocks that we definitely want to eliminate ahead of time. I'm a very big night before person. I like to just, the alarm goes off and then it's the only thing you have to worry about is just physically and mentally getting the work done. All the other ancillary stuff, all those roadblocks, all those hurdles and everything else is done. It's out of the way. You don't worry about it. Everything is set up, especially diet, nutrition, fueling, things like that. Lay it all out. Think about what you're going to use during that training the day before. Because if you're trying to figure it out in the morning, right before you have to run out the door, what do I have to take? How many grams of carbs do I need for this workout? That should have all been thought about prior. Set yourself up for success. Spend that little bit of time at night because I know you probably have a little bit of it before you lay your head down. And it also takes like the mental ease away. You put your head on the pillow at night. You don't have the 12 things going through your head on what you need to do in the morning. It's just you're going to look at your plan and and get your work done in the morning, and that's it. Outside of all of that, just remember through all of this, it's not just about performance. It's really a healthy, balanced lifestyle. So don't stress over the days when things don't go as well or they're a little harder than you anticipated. Remember, this is sustainability, lifestyle. There's some things that I've been reading this week that have been popping up, and then I verify when people post these things like that, these studies and things that you find on Instagram because you can't believe everything you read. But for myself, I'm going to be 41 years old in April. And when they put stats out on some of these reports of men in their 40s, let's just take that bracket, for instance. And when they say, yeah, we take 100 or 1,000 men, and then they break down kind of the average for that, how many are overweight? How many have chronic illness that's related to lifestyle? How many are drinkers? How many are smokers? How many carry a high level of stress that they don't take care of? It's an alarming amount. So for myself, I take pride in when I see that, I say, you know what? Zoom out. I always like to do that now and say, hey, even though you have a couple bad days or a bad week of training or you're not motivated really today and you're thinking like, and you're getting down on yourself, just remember even if you're tuning into this, chances are you are light years ahead of the majority and light years ahead of just people. I mean, you're doing good. You're doing it. You're out there. If you're watching this right now, you've somehow made your way here. Whether I'm coaching you or you're just following along with the journey, and you're getting it done. So don't stress about that. Don't worry about like when you have a bad day or something. Like just remember, like you're kicking ass. Like you're doing it. Uh, you know, take a look around. Take a look at some people that you grew up with. Chances are, because maybe your group now may be similar to you because you've kind of found you change with the seasons of life who you kind of keep around you. But rewind to before you did all this stuff and see kind of where they're at now and things. And not for comparison reasons, but just for knowing that you're doing the right thing, knowing that this is healthy, this is sustainable, this is what we should be doing with our lives, is pushing the envelope a little bit with what we're capable of. That's kind of the nature of what human beings are, is kind of trying to push that field goal post a little bit and seeing what you are actually capable of. Another thing too is just one of the last little tips for tonight is I was reading one of these post about something, and then I said I had to screenshot it and save it, and it was this MED concept, is this minimum effective dose. And what does that mean? Is this says the one thing I learned most, it's consistently turning up and doing the minimum effective dose. And what is the minimum effective dose? Doing the minimum effective dose means doing just enough to move the needle and improve your health, fitness, and body shape as you get older. What that means is all we're looking for day in and day out, especially as a coached athlete, somebody who has a plan or you're following something or whatever it is you're doing, whatever your goals are, is all you need to do is stress the body to the amount that you're going to get the reaction from your body to build stronger for the next one. And that's just that little bit of step and stress that we want up all the way to whatever goal it is that you have, whether it's performance, lifestyle, whatever it is. It's the times when we don't do the work, we're not meeting the consistency, or we're overdoing it way too often is when we come up with problems. So when you have a certain workout to do, whether it's an hour easy run, um, 3 by 3 by 7 on the track, 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off, 7 times, and you do that workout properly, there's a reason that length of the workout and that intensity was structured. You may feel great that day and want to keep going, push a few more reps or push a little bit extra into the recovery or push that tempo run a little too hard past the range we were looking for because you felt really good that day. It's kind of wasted energy sometimes. And granted, there's some asterisks in that. So I don't want to say don't ever push yourself a little bit. But what we're looking for is just that minimum effective dose, that little bit of going over to stress the body, like I mentioned last week, where we come back down a little bit more than baseline. We have to adapt. The body builds fitness in between on the recoveries and then progress forward and then do it again and do it again, peaking for whatever it is, your optimal performance on race day, sustainable, healthy lifestyle, whatever it is. So keep that in your mind when you're thinking about there and you feel good. Maybe harness that a little bit, save it, rest, recover so that you have another couple good sets of workouts coming up. So you don't just drain the tank in training on one day and then unfortunately maybe you have to take a step back because you might have overdone it a little bit. So that's what I got for what I believe is, week 7, 2025. So I appreciate you tuning in. I'll be catching up with all the coached athletes over the next 2 days. Since I'm taking some well needed rest on the 50K, I may put out a little bit more of a race recap for that. Just I have a bunch of questions on there, kind of like what my fueling was like, things. So I may put some notes together over the next 24, 48 hours. I like to get it all done within the week because it's all fresh in my brain, put that information out there. I really appreciate everybody who followed along with that journey to that race. It was phenomenal. Definitely top one of my race experiences I've ever had for endurance sports. The scenery, the course, like that's it was a bucket list race, and I can't wait to figure out what the next bucket list thing will be in the future, and there'll be more on that. And I'll also let you know what my goals are, short term, long term goals for the year. As of right now, I do not have any race actually physically officially signed up right now. I got ideas, but nothing is really on the calendar right now. So got a couple ideas, and I'll let you know as I get a little closer with that. But for now, I want everybody to stay safe out there, especially with this weather. Stay healthy, keep bouncing that life 1 mile at a time, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Have a good night, everybody.